Hey, thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button and smash the subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want to get notified next time I upload a video. Again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop by my page. It really helps me out, and I hope it's fun for you too. Today we're going to be listening to audio from Tammy Roman's interview on her Get Into It series on Fox Soul, where she's interviewing the previous star of Real Housewives of Potomac, Monique Samuels. She's talking what she's doing these days, what happened to her as Real Housewives of Potomac ended, and have her feelings changed. Let's see. After the interview with Tammy and Monique, stick around for a couple more minutes and we'll listen to the past audio from the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3 when Monique answered a lot of those questions that she's going to revisit in this interview. She answered them in real time, and we can compare and see if her answers or feelings have changed and if she's grown from the experience that she had. I think that'll be a really interesting addition to what we're going to be able to hear. So here we go with the interview of Tami Roman and Monique Samuels.
As a beautiful, outspoken reality TV star, formerly on the Real Housewives of Potomac, and you know I watches that. Okay, you know I am an avid viewer of the Potomacs, okay? And she was one of my favorites, but she's also a talented singer, writer, wife, and mother. And we all know she keep her receipts. A woman after my own heart, okay? Please welcome Monique Samuels.
Thank you so much.
Now that was the intro, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm over here cracking up. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're here because I'm like, I'm gonna get to talk to Monique. But I know how it is when you on a TV show and you're trying to live your real life. And I hated to say in the intro, formally of, because you were one of my favorites. And so I still wish you were on there, but now you're on to your real life and really the things that you have going on. Do you hate still talking about Potomac?
It was a part of my life for 4 years, so I really don't mind talking about it. I actually love referring to it in the past tense. I am so far removed from the whole situation, and I could not be more happy and more relieved.
Okay.
Very stress-free. So I don't mind talking about it. I'm just happy I don't have to move forward, and that whole chapter is done, you know?
And it's done.
Yeah.
So you don't miss it at all?
I don't. Even when they started filming, the thought of trying to prepare my life for cameras with everything else that I have going on with my businesses I've been working on, I can't even imagine the whole tug of war, the stress of trying to find a sitter and making sure the kids are okay, then my husband, you know. So I feel relieved. I really feel good. I like that I'm back into control of my life and my schedule.
Yeah. When I watched, I felt like you were one of the ones who, like, because, you know, other shows that are out there, sometimes people do things right when it's time for start a business or they start something so they can have something to talk about on the show, you know, or they're doing things to bring attention to themselves because they know if they don't do that, nobody's gonna care that they even on the show. You know, they try to get their extra 5 minutes. But I felt like you were one of the ones who really came and just was real from the moment you came on screen to the moment you decided to leave. How does it feel when you look out now at them? Do you sit back sometimes and go, you still fake?
I honestly haven't paid much attention to them lately. But I guess when I just think of how they were while I was there, I just know it's going to be a struggle for them because a lot of them don't really have anything going on. And they look forward to...
You're not friends with Karen no more?
Oh, no, I still talk to Karen. Yeah, I still talk to Karen, and I still talk to Ashley. So, yeah, we're still good. Okay. But we were the 3 that always came with genuine storyline. So I really feel bad that I'm like, I'm passing the torch right to them. Like, y'all got to hold it down now because I'm done. And so Karen even said to me jokingly, she said, you messed up the show when I decided to leave.
You set that thing ablaze, baby. You had it in a binder. I said, I don't think I ever see nobody come with no binder.
Look, I had to come prepared, because when you have women who want to do nothing but tell lies and spread lies and have nothing to back it, I said, oh, I don't spread lies, I spread truth. And I'm going to come with some backing for that truth. So,
of that truth. And you definitely did that. Do you regret, there was a moment, and then I'm going to try to stop talking about that, but there was a moment on the reunion where you exposed another cast member's relationship or lack thereof. Did you feel bad about that once it actually happened?
I didn't. And the reason why, I had a tug of war going on before going to reunion. And here's the thing, for 19 weeks, I watched this woman make false accusations about me and my marriage. And I'm like, for 19 weeks. So when people look at the reunion and how fast it happened, well, I just hit it with a 1-2 punch. She drug it out for 19 weeks. I had to watch the things that were coming out of her mouth. So when I got to the reunion, I did not feel bad, and I still don't, because she asked for it. I just returned her the energy that she gave me.
And I knew, see, having done reality TV myself, I can kind of see things that the average viewer they just don't process. But I knew from watching you, from how you came on the show and how you addressed things and how you dealt with things, I said a lot is going on behind the scenes, that they're protecting someone and not showing it. And so it looks like she's just coming out of left field with this, and that wasn't even in your character to do so. So I knew that there was probably more to it than what we were being shown.
Yeah, even down to the third part of the reunion, there were certain things that were revealed even at the reunion, and there were cast members who admitted to it, and they still protected them. And that ultimately was the reason why I left, because there was a lot that built up to it. But when they decided to show me and my husband respond in our own Instagram live to a person, Candace, who went live and actually threw all her friends under the bus about this whole plot. And they showed only me and Chris responding and tried to paint this picture as if my husband's some angry black man. I was livid. I was like, how can you show our response but not show what we were
what you're responding to? Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, I have the utmost respect for you. I think you handled it, as far as I'm concerned, with style and grace, because, you know, I have fought people for far less. So I felt like you did it very well. Now, in honor of Mother's Day, I want to ask you, what women in your life have inspired to become the woman that we all fell in love with on Potomac?
Thank you. I definitely have to say my mom. My mom is a boss in every sense of the word. I love her so much. I talk to her every day. She's my best friend. My grandmothers and my great-grandmothers, because I grew up very close. I even knew my great-great-grandmother. She passed away when I was 8. So I have a very strong network of women right in my family who have literally, they paved the way for me. Everything I do, that is what they instilled in me. They always tell me to be who I am. You have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. And that's what I believe, and those are the same things that I'm instilling into my kids. So
I love that. Man, you don't know how blessed you are to know your great. I mean, how many people can actually say that? You know what I mean? That's such a blessing. I know that a lot of fans feel like they know you because they've watched you on Potomac. Do you feel like you gave us all of your real life?
I definitely gave you all of my real life. They just chose to show whatever they wanted to show, because there's so much that's missing. But I hope that when people watch me on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram or even looking at my website, that they will get the full picture of who I am. And that's one thing that I've been grateful for. I don't think a lot of people realize the power of social media. And I remember watching my first season and I'm just like, wait, that's not how that happened. That's not how I am. Right. And I made a mission to make sure that I show people the inner workings of my life, how I am with my husband and my children, my affection for animals. You know, I have my T'Challa.
Yes, T'Challa. Woo, T'Challa.
Yeah, so I hope that people who watch the full picture and see me, or even on social media, get to see the whole picture of who I am. And so far, it seems like everyone has a pretty good sense of who Monique Samuels is, when it comes to.
Yeah. And we tend to talk about the rough times, right? Or the run-ins, because those are the things that are so poignant and stick out to us and piss us off. Like, even with me, it's like, if you ask me about the show I used to be on, I'll be like, I can't stand, I talk about the bad stuff. But I'm sure you have memories of really amazing moments of fun that you genuinely enjoyed the ladies, right? What are some of those moments that maybe we didn't see on the show?
Yeah, well, I take it back to my very first season. The guards were down back then. My very first season, it was very just like we're all filling each other out. And I feel like that was when I had the most genuine moments with some of those ladies. For whatever reason, after that first season aired, it was just like the daggers were out for some of them. But definitely the first season, I remember we went to Ocean Prime in DC when they announced our date that we would be airing, and we all came together. Karen was the only one that didn't make it because she actually broke her ankle that night. Yeah, but Karen was the only one that didn't make it. But we all actually just came together, had dinner, and just celebrated. We're like, wow, let's make this a great show. And that was one of the only pure moments that I can think of.
Wow, really?
Yes, it has been rough ever since. I mean, on and off camera, it has been rough. So when people say, I'm sad that you left, now looking back, I can't believe I stayed as long as I did, because it was high stress. It was very high stress. And I really didn't get to appreciate how much stress it was until I walked away. And my husband was from it. Yes, my husband looks at me now and he's like, I forgot how bubbly you were prior to the show, because I had to be so guarded while I was on the show. And you go from filming right to watching the season, right to filming the reunion, back to filming. So you never truly get a break. And I'm a person who just enjoys positive energy. And I've never put myself in such a negative space before in my life until this happened. And this wasn't what I expected, so yeah. But
so what's the biggest misconception you think people have about you from appearing on Housewives of Potomac?
The biggest misconception, let me see. I think the only thing that I didn't like was the whole bragging stuff, because a lot of people in my family didn't even understand or even know what Chris and I had until watching the show. So we were asked questions, and then I'm answering the question, and then I get called a bragger. And I'm the most I'm not one of those people that, everybody has to know if I'm giving something to someone or helping someone out. I do things all the time. I like to be under the radar. I like to remain anonymous in my giving. And that's just who I am. But everything else, as far as me going from 0 to 100, that's totally me. Sometimes I overreact, but I'm good enough to come back and say, yeah, I messed up. I apologize. Let's move on.
You're preaching to the choir on that. Now, is there anything that happened on the show? I understand you said, I'm not a bragger, but I had to show these things because I was asked a question. Is there anything that happened on the show that you're happy we did get to see?
Oh, my family. I love the fact that I was able to share my pregnancy with Chase. I mean, the entire pregnancy, because I suffered a miscarriage right before him. And I remember it was my first reunion, and I was supposed to come to the ladies and tell them the great news that Chris and I were pregnant. Well, 2 days before we taped that reunion, I began to miscarry. So I had to sit on that reunion couch, and I didn't want to say anything about it because I just wasn't ready to express that, what happened. That was so traumatic. But to be able to then go through a rough time trying to get pregnant again, and then finally being able to be pregnant, talking about the miscarriage, I think that was probably one of the greatest blessings, because I didn't realize how common it was and how unspoken it was until I was able to share that story on national TV. And I think it helped a lot of people heal. It definitely helped me heal. I was holding on to hurt that I didn't even realize. And I was, man, I was very fearful going into my pregnancy with Chase. And I just got to the point where I said, you got to let the fear go and just embrace this baby, and I'm glad I did. So it was nice to be able to share that whole journey.
Oh, that makes me smile. You did launch your musical career with a hot video. Now, who inspired your track Drag Queen?
Drag queens. Well, listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this. I knew that I needed closure, and I'm a creative person. So I was like, I need to put this into a song and get all of this out and tell my side. And I knew it was going to be a long season of me being questioned about a fight. And I said, I'm going to change this whole narrative. And now you can ask me about my song too. So that was my mindset. I said, this is closure for me. I made the title Drag Queens after I wrote the whole song. And I just said, this would be my little zinger that draws people in. Like, wait, what is she talking about? Drag queens?
Yeah.
But the song really is just talking about my whole journey with just becoming who I am and why I stand up for myself the way I do. And the biggest takeaway was stand up to bullies. If you feel a person is bullying you, you need to stand up. Like, don't let anybody do that, corporate bullies or individuals. So,
ooh, I love it. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back and continue this chat with the Real Housewife of Potomac, one of my favorites, Monique Samuels, when we return. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Get Into It. I am Tammy Roman, and I'm excited about my guest that's here today. She holds all the receipts, in case you didn't know. And if you missed the top half of this interview, you missed some good stuff, because I am talking to Mrs. Monique Samuels, hunty. Now, Monique and I have both been featured on reality shows starring Black women. Do you feel, Monique, that these shows properly portray us, or do they exploit our images and our culture?
Oh, it's definitely exploitation. Definitely. I mean, Black women are some of the most real, the most beautiful, the most open, the most big-hearted, the most forgiving. I mean, we have it all. We're the most appropriated. I mean, I feel like there needs to be a show that shows the true Black excellence and how we actually come together and actually take each other in and under each other's wings and help each other.
Do you think people would really watch that, though?
They probably would not. There still can be drama, but there still can be sisterhood. And I think that's what's starting to lack in some of these different shows. I want to see women who know how to get through life's issues, but also know how to support each other when they're going through something, versus, if there's some scandal, oh, let me jump on a bandwagon and kick her down some more. I think that we need to be more representative of what goes on in life, in real life, which is, if I have a sister that's hurting, I might talk to another friend about the whole situation, but then I'm still going to say, hey, what can I do to help you out? Not just like dog you out some more and try to further your embarrassment. So I feel
that's
like
how you would deal with something, right? So I feel like these shows sometimes, we can't expect people to handle a situation the way we would handle it, right? So there is some truth to, they're only showing what we give, right? And I think that where the manipulation comes in is based on the story they want to tell. It's like, yes, I did smack her in her face, but you didn't show what she did, how she threw the shoe across the table, and then I responded with the smack. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's where the manipulation comes in. But they're showing what we give them. So is it really, so then I go back to it, are they really exploiting us, or do we need to curtail the imagery that we're putting out?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to curtail that as well. But when I'm talking about more so happens behind the scenes, what goes on, it kind of takes me back to even when you think in terms of slavery, how you had some of them in the house, you had some of them in the field. Well, if you're massaging a person and you're giving only one person so much, that causes tension and friction amongst the whole group. When you keep trying to have one or two people who you pick and you put on a pedestal versus keeping everything equal behind the scenes, that causes drama. And then if a person keeps getting away with doing some really low down stuff and you don't see the same repercussions happening with that person as other people, that's when you're now playing us against each other. and it only gets worse from there. So even though we may show what we really feel, and some things do get taken out of context, when you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, you just appear as this angry person, and nobody knows the full story. It can be the audience and everything else.
So what I got from that is they be trying to act like Giselle shit don't stink.
All the time. And if you keep, like, for instance, I'll even give you some, just like some real behind the scenes. Every time they do these different commercials, they are paying the housewives to do these commercials. That's
Integration.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You know, put us on, you're actually putting our show on, but it should still be spread out. There should not only be 1 or 2 people from each show being pushed so much. There's other women. It takes 6, 7 women to make this show run, you know, for a reason. So spread the love, show everybody some equal opportunity, and let everybody else make some money too, you know? So
you didn't need no money, Monique. You the richest on the show.
I could still take a coin. Look, I ain't gonna turn it down. But it was like, for me, I would have to fight so hard all the time behind the scenes just to use my platform. I mean, I was getting turned down for interviews. I was being told by some people requesting me for press that, oh, I was told you weren't available, or they told me I couldn't interview you. So now you're giving me this platform that I'm supposed to be able to use, which I'm basically paying for, because the production cost of everything, you know, when it comes to putting on these parties, is coming out of my pocket. I should be able to at least use the platform. That's what we do it for.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Now you're taking away the platform and you're restricting me in ways where I can't even promote what it is that I'm doing. So that's the part that I have an issue. And that happened to me personally. I can't speak for anybody else. Time and time again. I mean, even to the point where when I released my my song, I did a lyric video, and that was literally sabotaged.
Wow.
I mean, they stepped in and shut my whole release down and just completely ruined it. And I had to pick up the pieces and promote it the best way that I could on my own. But it's like they pick and choose what they want to call violent, or what they want to, you know, you'll show and you'll profit off of a fight for 19 weeks, showing it in every teaser, every snippet. Yes. But then I make a song, and when you listen to the lyrics, there was no violence in any of my lyrics. You'll take my song and try to put my song out of there and say, oh, well, we can't promote that because of this, that, and the other. It's very like one-sided, and it's just not fair. So that's why I'm gone.
And I understand, respect, and receive that. I mean, that's why I eventually left, you know, the show that I was on. It's just like when the tide changes to where it doesn't feel like a fair, you know, space for all parties involved, then I don't have to stay, you know, in that type of environment. So I understood why you left. Now, a lot of people may think you left because in 2019 you had the little altercation with the other gal that's on the show, and she tried to, you know, like, I felt like she tried to get everybody on her side and turn them against you, and that there was some scuttlebutt they were going to ask you to leave, and so you tried to beat them to the punch. Is there any truth to that?
I will be 100% real with you and tell you, I thought that they were going to fire me. I was completely shocked when they offered me back. I was completely shocked. They gave me a phone call and they were like, we would love to have you back for season 6. And I was just quiet. And they were like, hello? Are you excited? I said, I honestly thought y'all were gonna fire me. And they were laughing. They were like, why would you think that? I was like, that's what I thought. That's what I believe. And they were like, well, you don't sound upset that, you know, this phone call is happening if you expected to be fired. I said, because I pretty much said in my mind, whatever happens, happens, and I accept whatever comes my way. So I was actually excited to go ahead and try to, like, you know, go into season 6 and have a strong story and you know, just kind of like make up for what happened the prior season. But once that reunion got to airing and they were showing some things and not showing everything and it wasn't fair, I said, you know what? I am not going to fight not only the cast, but I'm not going to then fight production and the network. What's the point of me staying here? You know? So it just turned into a situation where I guess it was just destined. Either way, season 5 was my last year. I didn't know that it was going to be me walking away from it. But that was what it was. And I did not leave because of the fight. I left because of the unfairness and how they tried to portray my family in a very crazy situation that went down with some of the cast members who they knew played a part, along with some production. So it was a lot that went into it. And I'm a person like this. If I say, here's my line that I will not let you cross, that line is family, that line is my marriage. If you cross that, I'm done. What does that say of me if I stayed?
Right.
You know, so I was like, I'm out of here.
Understood. Can we see you doing any more reality TV in the future, or has this totally turned you off to the genre?
I will say I have a little PTSD from reality TV.
I know, girl.
If the situation is right, and if it was a show that was more family centered, I think I'd be open to it. As far as an ensemble goes, I really don't know. It would have to be the right situation, and I would have to feel a little bit more comfortable with the process when it comes to production, because I won't put myself in that type of a situation ever again.
Now, what inspired you to come with this book of receipts, though? Like you sat at home and you just said, you know, I'm gonna just put it all together and make sure that it's together. Because you could sell that book of receipts. Did you know that you could probably put all those receipts on some other papers and make a book about these receipts? I feel like there's a money-making opportunity there.
You know what I did? I actually have a 3-part series on my YouTube channel, Tea with Monique. It's called Binder Time Stories.
I love it.
Yes. So I'm giving a riddle and I'm telling you tidbits of what is in my, but I'm not telling you who it was about. You got to crack the riddle and figure it out yourself.
Binder Time Stories is over on Monique Samuels YouTube. Y'all better get on over there because tea is spilled. Now, what is your YouTube channel? What's the name?
It's called Tea with Monique.
Tea with Monique. So all y'all people out there that's nosy like me, because I'm sure gonna go on over to Tea with Monique and subscribe. Okay. I'm gonna be right there too to get in on these Binder Time stories. But I did want to ask you one last thing before you go. The businesswoman side of you. I felt like, and I already know why, but I want you to give the people an opportunity to understand that we didn't see enough of the businesses that you have going on the show. So right here, right now, I don't even want to know why they didn't want to show it. I just want to know, what is Monique doing? What businesses do you have? And how can people reach you and support you?
Yes. So I started a parenting community 7 years ago, and it's called Not for Lazy Moms. And that was actually what triggered me to even join the show, was to boost this platform that I started so many years ago. We talk about maintaining each other, like maintaining ourselves and our family, natural alternatives, lifestyle tips. And it's all about sharing. I feel like when I became a mom, even though I had women around me that shared a lot, they didn't share enough. So I want all women and all parents in general, all men, whoever's out there, to know that you're not alone. We all share the same struggle, and let's put it out there and let's share our story. That turned into a Not for Lazy Moms podcast, which we just ended our 3rd season. We talk about everything from generational wealth and how to maintain it, how to create it, finances, parenting, love, everything. So that was one venture that I actually shared on the show. And then that turned into me starting my own essential oils line, Mila Eve Essentials, which I'm very proud about. It has taken off beyond my expectations, and it's been amazing. I mean, I launched in December 15th. I've not had a day without a sale. God is good. It's been amazing, but I'm selling these essential oils that are 100% pure, chemical-free, therapeutic, and people know I talk about essential oils all the time. So when you come to Mila Eve Essentials, you're getting top-of-the-line quality for a fraction of the cost. And
where can they purchase that?
They can actually go to shopmilaeve.com. If you go to notforlazymoms.com, it has a segue to lead you to Mila Eve Essentials. And if you forget all of that, MoniqueSamuels.com, you can find everything I'm dealing with right there.
There it is. That's the one. That's the one. MoniqueSamuels.com. And you guys can find everything Monique that she's got going on. I'm going to head on over there and get me some Mila Eve essential oils because I'm all into that too. But before we let you go, Monique, I like to do something around here called Tammy's Fast 5. And what that is I'll ask you 5 questions. You just answer them with the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
All right.
Okay. What's your go-to stress relief?
Oh, mind over matter. It's an essential oil. I put it on my forehead and the back of my neck.
Okay, mind over matter, y'all. It's an essential oil over at Mila Eve. Y'all got to go check it out. Stress reliever. What's the one thing you've done as an adult that you swore you would never do?
Oh man, have kids.
Ding, ding, ding. Do you sleep in silk, in cotton, or in the nude?
It's either silk or cotton. I go back and forth.
Okay. What did you learn the most about yourself on reality TV?
Oh man, I talk a lot.
Oh God. Okay. And what do you see yourself doing in 5 years?
Having a multi-million-dollar corporation with a whole building with a bunch of rooms for other buildings and other. Look, I'm gonna have a whole darn collection of property. I'm gonna take my real estate to more land and commercial real estate. I'm gonna be leasing out buildings for other businesses, and I'm gonna have Mila Eve headquarters right there.
Into existence. One last one. Do you like Wendy Artifeso?
She all right.
I slipped that in there for the tea drinkers of the world. You heard her. She said she aight. Okay. Special thanks to Monique Samuels for joining me today. I truly appreciate you. I know the soulmates love you, so they're happy that you stopped by today. I really enjoyed this conversation about how reality stars have real lives. And
so that was the interview with Tammy and Monique. Now we're going to listen to audio from the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3 when Monique Samuels answered questions around why she wrote the song and what her feelings were about the fight at that time. And I think it's going to be really interesting to hear the difference between what she just told Tammy and what she said at that time. To me, she's grown some. I personally like Monique. I think she made horrible decisions and I did not like what she did. However, as a person, a human, a being on this earth, I think Monique Samuels is fantastic. And, you know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody can get forgiven and everybody can move on under the right circumstances. So let's just listen real quick to what she said at the reunion, and then that'll be today's video on Monique Samuels.
So I never realized that was why. That was something that was such a trigger for me. She took me back to a place when I was a child where I could not stand up to my dad and say, "Get your hand out my face." That's why everything happened the way it happened. I take full responsibility for my part and my actions in the altercation. That fight wasn't about you. Nothing that you said or did in that moment warranted the response that you received. I offer you my apology. I'm sorry for the pain that you're still going through and the fact that you still haven't healed from it. And I hope you're able to heal and move forward.
What do you want to say?
I can absolutely appreciate childhood trauma. It was a trigger that my hand was in your face. The problem that I'm having with receiving any sort of apology or remorse, it's been over 365 days. There were so many things that were said and done after that, including bragging that she shut me up months ago. That was in response to what you said about me. I didn't interrupt you, Monique. Even when I thought what you were saying was not truthful, I didn't interrupt you. The scratching out my face on the cast photo, continually bragging on Twitter, on social media, the song that was written, that it was clearly addressed to me. As soon as I saw the name of the song, I knew it was about the fight. Then to say, well, it wasn't about them, it was about standing up to bullies, is such an insult on my intelligence and on everyone's intelligence up here.
The song is called Drag Me.
Drag Queens.
Drag Queens. My therapist wanted me to write Candace a letter. I said, I don't feel comfortable doing that. She said, what do you usually do to let go of stress? I said, well, before my kids, I used to write songs. She said, okay, write a song about it. The title and the hook came later. That song is a culmination of a lot of things in my whole entire life.
I was born ready, but I'm never done.
Yeah.
Try on
I'm glad she's a
10
fan.
looks just to find the right one. Be careful what you wish. Don't you dare, hun. Tried to warn you. See, the message wasn't clear, hun.
Because I gave a warning.
I'm a woman of my word, because I'm fair, hun. Give you what you ask for, because I care, hun. Now you feel me, now you see me. Exaggerate the eyes, feeling really pretty. Blah, blah, blah.
When
You're
you write a
bragging.
song,
You're bragging about
when you write a song,
attacking me
What
physically.
part of you thinks that's going to be received well by her?
it wasn't about her. It wasn't about
What
being
else was it
received
about?
by her. It was about what I wanted to do for me to move forward. When I got into the studio and I recorded that, I let it go at that
Are you
moment.
a recording artist?
I was recording music before Housewives.
It's not great. It doesn't sound great. If you were sitting here, how would that sound to you?
If she needed to write a song because I'm a creative person, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Well,
You're more than
can I
welcome
say
to write
this?
a song.
Can I
But
say
you
this?
also
what you need.
never apologized to her first.
Because I was not going to offer her an apology over social media.
I never
I would
wanted
never
a social media
imagine that a
apology.
social media apology would be any way to apologize.
Y'all got to understand that this mess went legal.
Wasn't it thrown out by the end
Right,
of the
but
season?
you got to understand.
It was thrown out by
once-
the end of the year.
Right, by the end of last year.
2019.
Once
Yes.
things
So
go
we got a
legal,
whole year.
I'm going to take the advice of my attorney.
I think you got bad advice.
It's not bad advice. She made choices.
Let me ask you this, Candace. Courtney from Madison, Wisconsin said you got dragged because you were running.
Leave a comment down below. Do you think that Monique Samuels has grown? Does it matter? Do you think her answers have changed drastically? I'm not sure. I'd like to hear from you though. Thanks for tuning in to Larger Curves today. Make sure you smash the like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.